Most seniors at the airport believe they are asking for favors. They are not. They are exercising federal law, and airlines are counting on them, never finding out. There is a list of airport services that airlines are legally required to give you. It has been federal law since 1986. Most seniors have never seen it, 10 of them. What the law actually says, and the exact words that unlock every single one. Right number 6 contains a phrase you can say to any gate agent that legally overrides their decision on the spot. And right number 10 is the one most seniors only discover after it is already too late. None of this requires a doctor's note. None of it requires paperwork, just the right words. For decades, seniors have been told that airport assistance is something you politely ask for, that if you arrive early and smile at the right staff member, things might go smoothly. That framing is wrong, and it costs seniors time, dignity, and sometimes their flight. In 1986, Congress passed the Air Carrier Access Act. That law gives you specific, enforceable civil rights on every commercial flight. Airlines are required to know these rules, but they are not required to tell you. Every time you walk past the gate without invoking pre-boarding, they save time. Every time a wheelchair user skips the claims process, they avoid liability. This is not an accident. This is how the system works in their favor. Right number 1, the gate pass. If you worry about navigating a large airport alone, or if your family wants to walk you all the way to the gate, there is a federal accommodation for exactly that. Airlines can issue what is called a gate pass to a non-ticketed companion. This allows a family member to clear TSA security with you and wait at your gate until you board. They need a valid photo ID and go through standard screening, but they can be right beside you the entire time. To you, the security checkpoint feels like a wall between you and your family. To federal law, it does not have to be. At the check-in counter, say these words: "I need a gate pass for my companion. I require assistance navigating the terminal." Seniors fly alone and anxious every single day, and a family member was allowed right there at the gate the whole time. They just never knew to ask. Right number 2, seated TSA screening for ages 75 and over. The standard TSA process was not designed for aging bodies. Standing for extended periods, removing shoes, raising both arms. For seniors managing arthritis, balance disorders, or chronic pain, this is not uncomfortable. It is physically impossible for many people. Here is what most passengers over 75 do not realize. You are legally permitted to leave your shoes on during the entire screening process. You may keep light jackets on, and if standing is difficult, you have the right to be screened while seated in a wheelchair or a designated chair. No TSA officer can force you to stand. At the checkpoint, say clearly, "I am 75 or older. I am requesting a seated screening." You do not owe them a reason. The officer is trained to honor it. Right number 3, the TSA Passenger Support Specialist. The checkpoint is loud. It moves fast. Instructions come quickly. For seniors traveling with CPAP machines, insulin supplies, or any cognitive challenges, the standard security line is a genuine barrier. The TSA operates a program called TSA Cares. Through this program, you can request a passenger support specialist at least 72 hours before your flight. This is a dedicated TSA officer whose only job is to guide you personally through screening, at your pace, with patience, and with full respect for your medical equipment. It is completely free. It is funded by taxpayer dollars, and almost no one uses it. Before your trip, call the TSA Cares helpline and say, "I would like to request a passenger support specialist for my departure date." At the airport, you can also say directly, "I am requesting a passenger support specialist." Right number 4, unrestricted pre-boarding, no doctor's note required. Boarding is a physical event, narrow aisles, overhead bins disappearing fast, people queuing behind you. For seniors who move more deliberately, the pressure of standard boarding is a real fall risk. Federal Regulation 14 CFR Section 382.93 requires airlines to offer pre-boarding to any passenger who self-identifies as needing additional time. No doctor's note, no documentation, no proof of any kind. Your word is legally sufficient. Here is the part that surprises most seniors. This federal mandate means you board before first class, before active military, before elite frequent flyers who paid thousands of dollars for early access. A basic economy ticket holder who knows this right boards before a $5,000 first-class passenger. Civil rights legally supersede airline loyalty tiers. That is not policy. That is federal statute. Before boarding begins, approach the gate agent and say, "I require additional time to board due to mobility limitations." That sentence is enough. Right number 5. In terminal transport with restroom stops. Connecting flights at airports like Atlanta or Dallas can require walking over a mile between gates. For a senior with poor circulation or limited stamina, that is not a long walk. That is the reason some people quietly stop flying altogether. The ACAA requires airlines to provide wheelchair or guided assistance for the entire connection. But here is the part almost nobody ever mentions. The wheelchair attendant is required to stop at restrooms and food concessions along the route if you request it. You are not cargo. You are not required to skip the bathroom because you are in a wheelchair. To you, asking for a restroom stop feels like asking for a favor. Under federal law, it is a mandated accommodation. They cannot refuse now. We are halfway through this list, and I need to pause here for one reason. Every right on this list is unlocked by specific language. Airlines do not respond to general frustration. They respond to regulatory vocabulary. Their staff are trained to recognize certain phrases. When you use the right phrase, the system is legally obligated to act. When you do not, it moves on without you. The first 5 rights covered what you are owed. The next 5 cover what to do when you do not receive it, and exactly what to say to correct that on the spot. Write these down, because what comes next is where most seniors leave money, comfort, and dignity on the table. Right number 6, the complaint resolution official. At some point, a frontline employee will say no. A gate agent will deny a request. Your instinct will be to accept it and maybe write a complaint letter later. Federal law gives you a much faster option. Every commercial airline operating in the United States is legally required to have a complaint resolution official, a CRO available at all times in person or by phone. This person is the airline's designated expert on federal disability law. They have the legal authority to override gate agents, flight attendants, and ticketing staff on the spot. Say these exact words: "I need to speak with your complaint resolution official immediately." That sentence triggers a federal compliance obligation. The staff member must escalate. The CRO must respond. They are unavailable is not a legally acceptable answer, and the airline is required to respond in writing within 30 days to any formal complaint you submit within 45 days of the incident. Right number 7, the 30-minute abandonment rule. If you have ever requested wheelchair assistance, you know the anxiety. An attendant pushes you to a holding area and disappears. Minutes pass, departure time approaches, no one returns. Under Federal Regulation 14 CFR, Section 382.103, airlines are prohibited from leaving a passenger unattended in a wheelchair for more than 30 minutes. This applies even if your spouse or family member is sitting right beside you. Here is what most people miss. Your traveling companion cannot legally push an airport-owned wheelchair through secured zones. The airline cannot use their presence to walk away from its obligation. The duty belongs to the airline, period. If you have been waiting over 20 minutes, say, "I have been unattended for over 20 minutes. Under ACAA federal regulations, I am requesting immediate assistance." Use that phrase. It tells them you know exactly which law applies. Right number 8, free, uncounted medical equipment. Airlines collect billions in baggage fees every year. They are very effective at making you believe every extra bag costs money. For medical equipment, that is false. Under federal law, assistive devices and medical equipment do not count toward your standard carry-on allowance. A CPAP machine, a portable oxygen concentrator, a bag packed entirely with prescription medications, all federally exempt. You may bring your carry-on, your personal item, and your medical equipment bag. 3 items, no fee. If a gate agent tries to charge you, say clearly, "This is an exempt medical device under the Air Carrier Access Act." The charge must be removed. Also important, medically necessary liquids are exempt from the TSA 311 rule. insulin, liquid medications, eye drops prescribed by a doctor. You do not need to compress them into tiny bottles. Declare them separately at the checkpoint and request specialized screening. If you want all 10 of these rights on a single printable page, including the exact regulation numbers and every phrase we have covered today, I have put it together in the Senior Traveler's Guide. It is one chapter of a much larger guide built specifically for situations like this. Everything in one place. Link is in the description. Right number 9. Full liability for damaged mobility devices. For a senior who depends on a power wheelchair, watching it disappear into a cargo hold is one of the most anxious moments of travel. That fear is justified. Wheelchairs are damaged at airports across this country every single day. Under the ACAA, an airline's liability for a damaged or destroyed mobility device has no monetary cap, none. If your custom power wheelchair costs $25,000 and it is destroyed, the airline owes you $25,000, not depreciated value, not a standard luggage settlement, the full original purchase price. In December 2024, the Department of Transportation strengthened this even further. Damaging or losing a wheelchair is now classified as an automatic civil rights violation. Airlines must also provide a functionally identical loaner wheelchair for the entire duration of any repair or replacement. Before every flight, photograph your chair from every angle. Keep your purchase documentation. If it returns damaged, say immediately, "I am filing an ACAA claim for my mobility device." Not a lost luggage claim, an ACAA claim. One caps your payout at a few $1,000s. The other pays for the entire chair. Right number 10. Fair reimbursement when your wheelchair will not fit. You book your flight. You plan your trip carefully. You arrive at the airport, and the airline tells you your wheelchair cannot physically fit into the cargo hold of that aircraft. Until recently, the full cost of rebooking a different flight fell entirely on you. Under the 2024 Wheelchair Rule 14 CFR Section 382.141, if your mobility device cannot fit into the cargo hold of your booked flight, the airline is required to rebook you on an alternative flight and cover the full fare difference. The financial burden transfers to them, not you. Airlines are now also required to publish exact cargo hold dimensions on their websites. Before you book any flight, verify your device fits. If you cannot find those measurements on their site, call the airline directly. Ask, "What are the exact cargo hold dimensions for this specific aircraft?" If they cannot answer, that tells you everything you need to know before finalizing the booking. When you are denied boarding because your wheelchair will not fit, you are not experiencing a logistical inconvenience. You are experiencing a civil rights failure. The law reflects that now. 10 rights, 10 times the law is on your side. 10 times the airline is legally required to respond. Most seniors arrive at the airport believing they are asking for kindness. They are not. They are invoking federal protections that have been law for nearly 40 years. The difference between a stressful airport experience and a smooth one is not youth. It is not a first-class ticket. It is knowing that these words exist and being willing to say them out loud. You are not a burden to the aviation system. You are a federally protected traveler. The only thing ever standing between you and that protection was knowing the words. Now you know them. If this was new information to you, there is a good chance the people you love have never heard it either. Share this video before the next trip. And subscribe to Travel Watchdog for more videos covering exactly what airlines and TSA count on you never finding out. Because knowing your rights is the only travel strategy that always works.